White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't listen to any naysayers. If you want to taste some... The White Spring is in shambles! A mess! How? I am but a humble servant of the White Spring Resort, dedicated to greeting each guest with pleasantries and candor. Or I was, back when our guests had class and decorum. The better question is, what is right? Everything has run amok. Chaos. Chaos! The responders have taken over the White Spring. Imagine all of the dirty footprints on the carpet. Dust all over the tables. The horror. It's some sort of relief effort for all of the refugees in and around Appalachia. If only there was a relief effort for my stress. That would be the enigmatic Orlando. They oversee the White Spring and are allowing the responders to stay here, as well as their constituents.
Can you lend me a hand? Well, I'm a representative from Foundation. I'm just here to talk about some trade deals, and to request assistance with the recent stream of refugees from the pit. Well, we think it's kind what they're doing here for the but a lot of them are coming to Foundation too, and we just don't have the It kept us from worrying about whether...
Wonder if they have any chems laying around here.
May I interest you in wine, beer, and/or spirits? Guests are welcome to relay their problems if desired.
These robots sure make my job easier.
Wow, they've really gotten set up here.
Entonces, de esta no salgo, ¿no?
Una semana, quizá 2. Ah, lo siento, Price.
Maldita sea, con las ganas que tenía yo de ver un bramante 3 cabezas.
¿Eres colega del señor Price? Procura estar a su lado, eso siempre ayuda.
¿Qué tal? No esperaba visitas, pero no sabes lo que agradezco que venga a verme alguien que no quiera volar. Gracias, muchas gracias. Por fin algo de luz en un día tan oscuro. Y mira lo cruel que es el destino. Vengo aquí porque me han pegado un balazo y salgo con una enfermedad terminal. Ah, y ya que estamos, deja que te avise de que hay una panda de bandidos enmascarados por ahí fuera. Son tipos despiadados con cicatrices y unos ojos rojos como los de los conejos. Esa gente no es humana, en serio. ¿Tú? ¿Qué va? Me habría entrado el tembleque desde el primer momento. No, tú no eres... Ve con cuidado ahí fuera. Con la que está cayendo, cualquiera de aquí a Wavy Wheeler podría ser un...
No tenemos camas disponibles para aquellos que solo están asustados. Hay que dar...
Sí, que no te quepa duda. Por lo menos durante unas... Joder, perdona. Mi madre no me... Y así fue. Pero se ve que el agujero no era tan grande como creía. De haberse dado cuenta, me habrían pegado otro tiro. Aquí el médico dice que tengo la sangre intoxicada por toda esa exposición.
Bueno, técnicamente, tanto tú como ese mineral estáis irradiados por el residuo radiactivo. Limon sufre una grave contaminación por radiación. En esta etapa suelen aparecer fiebre, diarrea. Afrontar la enfermedad de forma positiva suele ser beneficioso. Tiene lesiones internas importantes y esto solo irá...
¿De verdad no se puede hacer nada más? ¿Alguna cura? Todavía me falta un sueño. No le había dado muchas vueltas. Pero ahora que la parca merodea por aquí, todavía no. No quiero morir.
No debería decirte esto, pero... He oído historias sobre un... No sé qué significa o si es real, así que...
A ver, no voy a encerrarme aquí por unas toses de nada. ¡Toma ya! Sería como tener guardaespaldas. El problema es que no tengo mucho dinero. Ah, espera. ¿Y si te digo que tengo un enorme bloque de mineral de mi anterior excavación?
These refugees wouldn't last one day in Crater.
¡Sí! A ver si conseguimos dar con ese... En cuanto haya limpia... Creo que puedo viajar sin ayuda.
Aren't there more important things to worry about?
There's a lot of supplies here that look ripe for the picking.
En nada nos vemos allí.
It's nice to see people around in the responders uniform again.
Helping people is our chief mission. The cool uniforms?
Don't bother talking to that person from Crater. Nasty bunch, aren't they? Considering all of the places I could have ended up, I'm extremely lucky I'm here. I've never felt safer.
Why even bother helping people that can't help themselves?
I'm still getting used to sleeping with both eyes closed.
So this is a place that's bringing all these damn people to Appalachia. Everything is too clean here. Time to dirty it up.
What do you think of the decor here? I know it's pre-war, but it's a bit dated.
How are the folks at Foundation doing? If I wasn't so busy, I'd go visit sometime.
These refugees wouldn't last one day in Crater. There's a lot of supplies here that look ripe for the picking. Wonder if they have any chems laying around here.
The work I do is extremely rewarding. But boy, is it tiring.
Why even bother helping people that can't help themselves?
Sometimes I just check out and go about my day on autopilot.
Sorry, I'm not much for conversation. Ellison talked my ear off. There's no problem too big to solve.
So this is a place to bring these damn people to Appalachia.
Robot butlers. Is this a refuge or a palace?
Robot butlers? Is this a refuge or a palace?
Glad to see you've returned.
I was out scavenging for food earlier. Only got attacked by Scorched once.
That's okay. Come back if you're ready to donate.
Wow, that's a gift, Jim. Just wouldn't be right to waste it. I got a chuckle out of Rucker yesterday. Mission success. Hope you're doing all right, Mama. You're always in my thoughts. It's been sunny all week. I love it here. If you hang around those raiders, I want nothing to do with you.
There's times you gotta accept the cards you were dealt and learn to make the best of it. Oh, the work I do is extremely rewarding, but boy is it tiring.
One hit is all it took to realize we'd made a terrible mistake.
You think I have what it takes to be
Even
a
for
standard?
degenerates as celebrated as ourselves, this was too much. The trip wasn't bad, it was glorious, horrifyingly so. We knew instantly that this was what money could buy. And we knew we'd never have it again. We witnessed firsthand the life that was being kept from us. And as much as we wanted to reach out and take it, we couldn't do anything more than
Orlando is very
slump in our
charming,
chairs and
to be honest
watch as it
Really
drifted
sure
away. The consequences would be more than spiritual. Every inch of our bodies yearned for more after that first hit. Haddock wouldn't be enough to cure this hunger. No. Maybe nothing will.
You'd think with all that tinkering Skippy does that he'd have come up with something more medicinal.
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others? It feels like I died and gone to heaven. Or hell, if you look out the window.
Do you ever look up at the stars and wonder if anything else is out there?
Still, appearances count.
I asked Tannen for a drink on the rocks, and he put literal rocks in it. I can't remember the last time I ran my hand through clear water.
Honestly, the presence of custodial robots does not excuse tracking mud all over our floors.
This place is a little too cushy. You ever get that feeling like you forgot something? Except I'm not sure what it is I forgot.
Darling, wonderful to see you. Can I be of service? I'm afraid you may wish to ask the lovely Rucker those questions, darling, but I shall do my best. A wonderful idea, of course. It can be a beacon of hope for the unfortunates of Appalachia. And as I believe I mentioned, darling, the management are very positive on the effort and give it their full support. I am ready as ever to accommodate. There is very little I'm permitted to speak about, but ask away, dear. My dear, nothing would bring me more joy than to answer your questions. Your suspicions wound me. However, my employer values their privacy as highly as they value the fine work the responders are doing here. Suffice it to say, they are the owners of the White Spring, as I believe I've mentioned. However, suffice it to say, they are the... I am at... I'll be delighted to explain what I can. Oh, a bit of this, a bit of that, whatever they require. As you might imagine, the state of things. I go where they need me to go and see to what affairs they see fit. Think of me as a concierge, my dear. I'm here. My role as liaison is to facilitate the... That sounds terribly formal, I know, but in practical terms, it means I do what I can to keep the White Spring livable and support the refuge. I oversee the robotic staff to attend to the former, and in the latter case, I arrange for the disbursement of resources from management. Food, medicine, materials. Management has considerable resources, which they are happy to donate. I handle those arrangements. Now, darling, you can't imagine I would tell you a thing like that. A less trusting soul might think you were pumping me for information in the hopes of planning a heist. Of course, I know that's not why you ask, but you understand why I have to be rather secretive on this subject, don't you? Let's just say management wisely invested its wealth when such things mattered, and are now well equipped to be generous. Of course, darling, whatever you like. Certainly. What do you require? But of course, the White Spring is home to... However, if you prefer a human touch with your... A charming man with a I believe the responders have commandeered the kitchens. However, the White Springs robotic waitstaff can no doubt provide you with light libations in the dining area. You may wish to head downstairs to the merchant concourse and visit Marie and Antoine to sate your hunger. Regrettably, the White Spring itself is not equipped to provide full medical care at this time. I do apologize, darling. And the refuge clinic is reserved for the poor indigents arriving. If your needs are less immediate, Doc Stanley has a variety. Not at all, my dear. Me, dear? Would you really want to dispel all the mystery? What is it you wish to know? Do I have an admirer? Flattery will get you everywhere, darling. That being said, there is little to tell, really. I am the White Spring Management's liaison to the Responders' Refuge. It's a role I quite enjoy. It pleases me when I can be of service to others. I don't mean to be coy, dear. My work is my life, as they say. It fills my time and fulfills me. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Besides, don't you find a bit of mystery all the more compelling? If I bared my soul and told you everything, I'm sure you'd be terribly bored. If I remain an enigma, it might keep you coming back for more of these lovely chats. I can't imagine there's anything of interest to you there, dear, but you may ask. Oh, here and there, darling. I've been to lots of places before the management asked me to take over here. If you want to imagine a thrilling and intriguing story about my past, don't let me stop you, please. Can't wait for my tell-all autobiography. I can't blame you. Who knows when I'll find the time to write it? How about just a little dark secret of mine to tide you over? I'm not from anywhere interesting, actually. Nothing remarkable about my origins at all. Disappointing, isn't it, dear? That's why I usually let people imagine their own version of things. Keeps them interested. Working after a fashion. You must understand, dear, the management cannot travel as freely as most people can. In their stead, I have wandered far and wide, seeing to their interests and being their eyes and ears, hands too, as necessary. It had its good moments. I enjoy meeting new people, and much of the countryside is still beautiful, despite everything. But to be honest, my darling, it was a relief to come here to do this. It's been too long since I could remain in one place for a while. Promise me you won't get bored if I become a homebody. I'm getting used to a soft bed and clean clothes.
En absoluto, cielo.
Believe me, I shall be counting the minutes, dear. Come back safely.
Just trying to get through the day. 4 hours to go. I heard there's some monsters in the pit that'll give you a run.
Protectrons are kind of cute when they're just wearing a bow tie and not shooting lasers at you.
These responders must really have a game plan. Where they're always flitting about.
These robots sure
That's
make
something.
my job.
Step right up, my friend. I've got a special opportunity for you approved by management themselves. How would you like to go on a little vacation? That's the spirit. We are offering free travel to America's playground. Atlantic City, New Jersey. A haven of wonder, excitement, and opportunity. Fully governed and, I assure you, safe from the dangers of the outside world. In exchange for your all expenses paid, Red flight, All we ask is a little assistance paid back to the locals. Sounds like a deal, right?
One of the other initiates said...
And now that's what I'm talking about. A little landowner you've agreed to help out, and I'm sure they get word back to the city leaders. And hey, you come right back and talk to me if you have any questions, all right? I'm your one-stop guide to the city. We are offering free travel to America's playground. Atlantic City, New Jersey. A haven of wonder, excitement, and opportunity. Fully governed and, I assure you, safe from the dangers of the outside world. In exchange for your all expenses paid, really. That's right. As long as the city... They were mighty jazzed to hear word of an organ. You can always use fresh faces. Of course.
I can't wait until dinner.
Jeremiah Hopkins. Mighty pleased to make your acquaintance.
Maybe I come off a little too strong. No, maybe not strong enough.
Beautiful place. Just a gorgeous view from up there on the rooftop. Never seen anything like it. Outside. Now, why would there be any need for that when I'm enjoying my snug and secure accommodations here? No, sirree. I'm fully satisfied staying inside where there are no surprises. You trying to scare me now? I've heard. You get breathed on by a bat, suddenly big green crystals start growing out of your skin, right? I am perfectly good. Never seen one of those. Thank you very much.
There's times I worry I'm not doing enough.
If you're interested in some...
I just try to remember that I managed to
Certainly.
get in the first place. There I go, reassured.
Glad to help out. Allow me to tell you about your next vacation destination.
Need anything? Ever been to Clarksburg? Why would you ever need to go when you've got everything you need at Giuseppe's
Regional
Curio?
flavors you won't find this side of Nuka World. Feeling fruity? Try Nuka Sherry, Grape, or Orange. Exclusive to the White Spring, early release bottles of the newest cola sensation, Nuka Cola Quantum.
Jumpy, aren't you? Perhaps it's nerves. Oh, you think I'm a good salesman? I made quite the I see we meet. Buy, sell, trade, and count. I'm a collector of oddities and eccentricities, and I sell those eccentricities for the right price. Perhaps I might have something to your liking. I have books upon books of riddles. They keep a man entertained. Besides, it's a good conversation starter. You have only ever seen me in the distance, never up close. Look in any direction, and I will be there. What am I? Nice try, but that's incorrect. Take a night to think it over. And I'm sure you'll get it tomorrow. You walk past and see a sparkle at the edge of your vision. Maybe it's a dusty mirror or a long-forgotten urn. A decades-old music box. That's a curio. Do come back.
Nothing cleans the gears like an ice-cold Nuka-Cola.
You look like you could lose some weight. From your pockets.
Well, hello. Do you like Nuka-Cola? Don't be silly. Of course you do.
Ain't gonna happen inside this refuge.
I wouldn't want to be Rucker. I never thought a single person could be spread so thin.
But Rocker wants a soap
Damn, that blood bug sting was nasty. I wonder what it was like pre-war when they were tiny.
I think we can make this place home for a lot of people, yourself included. I heard a bunch of nerds arguing over comic book heroes yesterday. Aren't there more important things to worry about?
We could really do some good things with White Spring.
Takes a lot of chems to get thrown out of the Neapolitan, but we were riding the line. My confidant and I made the trip to cover the Showman's Games, a world-renowned exercise in high-stakes barbarism. Few in the entertainment world could match. Instead, we spent most of our time getting hopped up on Daddy-O and chugging bourbon in the casino bar. It seemed a logical course of action. The games were notoriously deadly even for bystanders. Liquid courage and a head full of hallucinogens were the obvious defense. What we didn't count on was the devil's blood. We had never heard of this stuff, and for good reason. It's an AC specialty. We weren't supposed to have it. It wasn't meant for us, but for the real high rollers. The people who, even in a world ravaged by pestilence and war, still managed to come out on top. But we found a way. The exclusivity made it all the sweeter. Not because we aspired to that lifestyle. Quite the opposite. We wanted to soil the royal concoction inside our mangy, flea-ridden hides.
It's nice to see people around in the responders uniform.
this is a place that's bringing on these damn people to Appalachia.
I suppose a nice refuge like this is worth more hungry mouths. With all these supplies, you could really do some good trading with White Spring.
What do you think of the decor here? I know it's pre-war, but it's a bit dated.
My friend, I hope you will stop by and join us for dinner sometime. Oh, me? Of course. What would you like to know? Oh, my absolute favorite is bœuf bourguignon. My papa and I would always make it together on cold winter days. It warms my heart and soul. Perhaps if one were to braise the venison in red wine before adding it to the stew. Oh, well, I've loved... My papa was an amazing... I had dreams of... However, I like to think.
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others? It feels like I've died and gone to heaven. Or hell, if you look out the window.
Good morning. The dining room is open for breakfast. Please feel free to seat yourself.
This wanton robot tried to give me a haircut before running off. It's a shame. I can't get at the back by myself.
The potatoes here taste amazing. So fresh and only a few reds.
We could always use an extra hand around here. My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said there was
Sorry, I'm not much for conversation.
I heard about what happened in Morgantown. I know it was way back, but I'm glad they chose to send me somewhere safe and not somewhere like that.
Work I do is extremely rewarding, but really so tiring.
Oof, Ellison needs to access his calm. God damn.
These robots sure make my job easier.
Hope you're here about the supplies I ordered. Wait. No, that's someone else. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Ah, Lord, I need a nap.
If you see anyone struggling out in Appalachia, be sure to tell them about the White Spring.
I was out scavenging for food earlier. Only got attacked by Scorched once.
Helping people is our chief mission. The cool uniforms are just a nice bonus.
If you hang around those raiders, I want nothing to do with you.
There's no problem too big to solve.
A dash of this. A sprinkle of that. Perfection.
Did you suddenly overcharge me for that hairbrush? No, 50 caps is reasonable.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
I'm all ears. Figuratively, that is. What's new? Why, naturally, I would be happy to share my wisdom with you. Can I? Of course. Will I? Also, of course. It's hell. What else can I say? What the bombs didn't level, the fanatics finished off. The air is choked with soot, the water is undrinkable, and the rads sear your skin like the sun of the Sahara. Then you'll be happy to join us on our frequent sojourns there, I take it. Before the war? Well, it wasn't a paradise, but still a sight to behold. The Steel City, we called it. A center of industry, making anything you can imagine. When the war rolled around, we built weapons, munitions, vertibirds, power armor, robots. I suppose that's what made us a target, and left us what we are now. The fanatics are a bunch of sadists, is what they are. They bill themselves as a confederation and say they take all comers for who or what they are. That's nonsense, of course. Just an empty slogan, used to sucker in more labor for the mills. All right, I'm game. Oh, well. Anytime,
It's been sunny all week. I love it here.
These refugees wouldn't last one day
Due
in
to
Crater.
the risk of exploding glassware, mixed drinks
Decor might be
are
a little
no longer
ostentatious,
available.
but it's nice to be somewhere not covered in dirt for once.
There's a lot of supplies here that look right for the picking.
Think about it? Just keep doing your job. Appalachia's supposed to be the safest place around. But I've heard of the monsters that lurk in the woods here, and I'm not so sure about that.
White Spring is under our protection.
Welcome. May I interest you in our fine art and decor? Make the White Springs decor part of your lifestyle. Take home a painting of our pristine mountain landscape. Yes, security is our priority. Our antique reproduction furniture adds sophistication and grace to any home. Please do not interfere with resort security patrols.
sky. It's communication. It's intent.
us all out.
Never thought I'd be back in Appalachia.
Gotta listen, all the time. Lots of chatter back and forth. I don't want to have my own place. What a headache that would be. I like the idea of settlements, but the freedom to move your home at any time is where it's at. You could always grab a trusted buddy to help you out with this. I mean, if you can trust anyone to be quiet about the network.
just about time to eat.
Stock up now while supplies are available. I am authorized to trade supplies and equipment. Now trading for supplies, ammunition, and gear. Resupply here, citizen. ammunition, and other supplies available here. Welcome, citizen. I am authorized to trade supplies.
Ugh.